And you know how step on Marcus J, live from the den, Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all for continuing to rock with us throughout the night as we continue through the flagship show, Legacy Internet Radio. It's called Ain't No High Step on Marcus J. That's me. And Q Boogie, that's her. And we're here tonight leading the show, the flagship show, and we're happy and proud to introduce a brand new segment here on the show if you want to call and be a part of it. Phone number is 804-402-2893. That's the number to dial to be a part of the tonight's show and to be a part of the brand new segment. Take it away, Q Boogie.
So, on my Facebook feed today, I asked everyone to help me come up with a title when Marcus J first hit me with the need of one. And I'm like, oh, I don't really know what to call this. Because I don't have tea in this typical sense. Like I don't gossip, but I do like to give my colorful commentary on ain't shitness. So a good friend of mine, Philip Vaughn, actually helped me name it, and this segment is called Be Better, Beloved, Be Better. Because we all need to be better at moments in time. And sometimes, you got to be checked on your own ain't shitness because all of us have different levels. So, and this is commentary on the things that, I myself believe in. And I'm always open for dialogue and all those sorts of things. And it's not something that everything is what I got to say and how I feel about everything. It's just certain things that I really care about. I am a womanist. I am someone who cares a lot about women, specifically black women, and I love and the upliftment and care of us as black women, as well as all women and our equal rights and our say in our own bodies and everything that comes along with us, as well as speaking up about, the patriarchy and misogyny and Trump's America and all those beautiful things I love about, and stuff that's just like plain funny. So without further ado, here are the things that I want to discuss. If you are not familiar with Amanda Seales, definitely get familiar with her. She's like our generation's Cree Summer without all the voices.
Without all the voices.
That's
scary.
She doesn't do the character acting. She doesn't do the voice acting. But she looks like Cree Summer. Like even back in the day.
Like her. Like I had Cree Summer crush. Like I love her.
And she looks the exact same.
Does she?
Yes. Only thing that she got a little bit of gray. That's it. She looks the exact same. But Amanda Seales looks a lot like her in my opinion. So I don't know exactly why Katy Perry had this whole thing, and apparently I don't know if she's been forgiving it. I'm pretty sure that she will most likely never get invite to the cookout again, or her, she always gonna get like that last plate. Like we're never gonna like give her a fresh one. I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
Nope, no plate for her.
No, I'm team no plate, but you got some people that's like, give her a chance. So apparently, her and D-Ray had a conversation about, basically her cultural appropriation. So, which I think like they left a very important a few very important people out of those conversations, i.e. Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, Iggy Azalea, a whole lot of important people.
I'm okay with them being left out.
No, I mean like left out of that conversation, be like, hey, let me tell you about why this whole little black scent that you got going on right now is not healthy or good. But they had a conversation. And I guess to celebrate her album that just came out, she had a YouTube conversation. And Amanda Seales and Caitlyn Jenner and a few other people along with Katy Perry were there. And the conversation started to turn onto how basically Caitlyn was speaking on how she feels, she still believes in America. She still believes in, there's good things in this country. And Amanda Seales started to go in. And what worried me, and even in the midst of that conversation, she said it herself, was that she had to preface that with, I'm not angry, I'm passionate. I'm not upset, I'm passionate. And why is it that we have to preface things? Why can't we just talk about whatever and this is specifically us as black women, black men get it too, but it's normally us, this label as the angry black women on all sides, no matter who. Somebody's going to call us an angry black woman. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody from our own race. It could be anybody. Like, ooh, you have an opinion about something, you're automatically an angry black woman. So she had to preface that with, I'm passionate. I'm passionate about how I feel. And she went on to list the things about living in America and her experience living in America that to Caitlin was completely like, what? What do you mean? Like, I still think that this country is great. She was like, yeah, this country is great for you, sis, and you can feel that way. But it's not for me. It's never been for me. And just like we were talking about in the segment before, how that seems to skip over people. It's like, if you're not gung-ho and completely red, white, and blue, you're somehow unpatriotic. You're something. But if something's on sale and you ain't got the money to pay for it, how am I benefiting from it? So it's cool. All right, it's a great sale. Everybody else is taking advantage of it. They have the coupons and everything else. But if I don't, you still can't be like, well, it's a great sale. I have nothing to gain from it. If anything, if I were to try to do anything from it, it would be a loss to me. So it just sucks to me that she had to preface that and speak about how she was not angry, she was passionate. And even if she was angry, why can't she just be that because of what is going on in our world right now? And Amanda Seales is an actress, a comedian. She was on the first season of Insecure. She was awesome. And she's always been someone in our community that's been pretty woke and open about women's issues, black issues, civil issues, issues going on in our country, all these sort of things. And to be surrounded by basically your peers, people that Katy Perry perceived they could have one-on-one conversations with, it always seems the same thing happened to Jessica Williams. Somebody up and decided that, you should pull yourself up by your bootstraps, Jessica. Why can't you just get over the hard time that you have in this country? And she's like, are you serious? I'm like one of two black people at this literal table that y'all invited me to. You will never understand my experience, but you don't get to tell me about my experience. You don't get to tell me how it's wrong. You don't get to tell me how it's right. You are basing your experience off of what I'm telling you right now. And you're relating that to, ooh, how do I feel about this? Well, I don't agree with it. I've had these things that happened to me in America. So therefore, it must not be me. It must just be you. Why can't you get it together, Marcus J? I don't understand. Why is it just you pull yourself up by your And what sucks is that it was another woman of color who told her that. It was Selma Hayek. And she's like, sis.
But a lot of it has to do with your experiences and your assimilation.
Yeah.
And I think the more remember you black moments that you have, the more likely you are to have a level of sensitivity towards other folks. Now that's not to say that, let's use Michael Jordan and LeBron James, for example, because I found myself in a discussion in social media about them early on. Both of them basically were very prominent basketball players as young men. And at present, one of them appears to be a little bit more socially conscious than the other.
Right.
And when you look at what their experiences are, obviously they're very, very different. And, one person made the point that Michael Jordan does a lot of charity work and he's a huge benefactor for the Black Museum up in D.C. and all that's great. And I appreciate being given that information. But my sense is, or my opinion is, you have a greater duty in this country as a black person who has made it to, especially a black person who has made it on the shoulders of other black people.
Yeah.
All you got to do is look at the hood and look at all the Jordans and you know what I'm saying. You have a greater duty to let the world see you give back.
Yeah.
It's my opinion. I could be wrong. It's not right to spend another person's money. And I get that logic, all of that kind of stuff. But it takes me back to the point that your girl Amanda Seales is her position, because for me, I'm an angry black man. You know what I mean? Like what's the brother's name? James Baldwin once said that to be a black man in this country is to live in a state of perpetual rage.
Yeah.
Perpetual rage. Like you always on the precipice of snapping as a black man or a black woman in this country because of all the shit you got to deal with.
Right.
And I don't know that other people in other cultures, I'm not even speaking of white people, I'm just speaking of other people and other cultures understand.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that a lot of them even give a shit.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's your experience.
Yeah. I mean, just think about just how you do when you go down the street or you in the car and you just going about you see other people, black or white, who got stuff going on, and you see them and you feel how you feel in that moment, and then you never think about it again.
Yeah.
Just day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
So if you think of it on a larger scale, I guess I understand some of my white brothers and sisters who are unaffected by driving while black, or unaffected by being walked around a store and you know that you're being followed, or being affected by, well, it costs this much. Like, yeah, I know it costs this much, or being affected by, well, I don't know, you think you can afford that? Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
why I'm holding it.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I know what lane I belong in. Stay out of it. You know what I'm saying? And so I appreciate her. And I'll be honest with you, man. Whenever I hear the phrase angry black man or angry black woman, I'm like, abso-freaking-lutely. Yeah, we pissed.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of it has to do with our own behavior, and we are in control of the things that happen to us in many cases. We got to do better. It's not okay to be walking around in skinny jeans with your ankles showing. It's not okay.
What?
It's not okay. I'm talking about the skinny jeans, but they also high water. You know what I mean? Or you walking around with your pants sagging. Or if you're killing your brother in the street. Because these are the things that shine a negative light upon all of us.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate reality is people like Marcus J. and people like Q Boogie no longer represent, which is another problem in itself, because black folk always got to have a freaking representative. But we no longer have us as the representative. It ends up being Lil Wayne and Lil Kim.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see white people walking around worrying that Duck Dynasty represents all of them. And, here comes Honey Boo Boo representing all of them.
Right.
Because they're the default. And the reality is there's more that we can see that represents them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and anybody else that's outside of that narrative is just othered, but they're choosing to be othered. And all it really boils down to is I do not understand the need to preface things. Like, I do understand the need. It's just infuriating to have to do so. You can't just speak how you want to speak without, hey, putting a disclaimer. Hey, everybody, I'm not mad. I'm just speaking how I speak. And when you're in a room full of mixed company, like, you have to preface that. Otherwise, you're going to be labeled as this thing, this identity, this whatever. And that's what really bothered me. I was just reading that, and even though she was hitting her with like shots of truth, just like pow, 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 and Caitlyn was still sitting there like, I don't understand. It's like, yo, you never will. Like, you're not even attempting to. And that's another part of it that sucks so much. Why are you trying so hard to be an ally when you're refusing to even try to understand anything that's going on? You're still in your little box and being like, oh, well, this is what I am understanding, and the only things that I want to understand. Everything else other than that is just like, well, I just don't get it. And it's, how is that helping anybody? I don't get it. So the next thing I want to talk about, because all y'all lost y'all damn minds over this weekend, is the controversy behind Amber Rose.
Oh boy.
If you would love to participate in this conversation, hit us up at 804-402-2893.
Let me get a couple of quick shout outs. And shout out to my brother June is checking us out. What's up, brother? Good to see you. I'm glad you've been checking in lately. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you on the Facebook Live. My brother B just hit me up in a text, and he's saying peace to us. He's listening to the show, and he's saying peace. My brother Solo just slipped in the room. All throughout the radio is in the room, so he came to hang out with us as well. So got a lot of love. We getting a hit from Naquetta. Is saying peace to she's saying peace to you, Q Boogie. Yeah. She says thick thighs save lives. Lord.
Hey, Quita.
Quita, appreciate you, sis.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening, sis. So
Definitely. If you want to call in, the number again is 804-402-2893. And let's get on. And it's funny that she actually commented at this moment.
Amber Rose,
Huh?
Yeah, it's all about Amber Rose. Huh?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Amber Rose. And it's so funny because I was just on Keita's, Lord, I'm always doing that. Quita. I was just on her comments today because she's always posing like really thought-provoking questions, which is awesome. And she posed a question regarding Amber Rose. And over the weekend, like a friend of mine showed me the picture of, the one that's causing all the controversy right now. And it's basically Amber Rose is naked from like the chest down. And in case anybody else wants to call it, like, yo, this is a good topic, so y'all might want to call in. 804-402-2893. So the controversy was more or less the fact that Amber Rose, not so much that she was naked, but what was there as she was naked. The whole, oh my gosh, she got hair down there. I don't want to see that. It was so much of that. And on top of like, Amber Rose ain't a feminist because she's always, oh gosh. All right. So feminism and womanism are parallel. They run similar veins, but not really. Womanism was founded by members of the Black Panther Party because they did not identify fully with what feminism entailed because it was mainly what we still fight with right now. Feminism that was one-sided. And so womanism was brought apart, and then, a lot of other cultures have their own versions of feminism in and of themselves as well. But it's all about intersectionality and understanding that there's no one way to exist in this world. So Amber Rose has, created the slut walk, created all these different things for sexual identity, sexual awareness, rape awareness, understanding and explaining rape culture, all these sorts of things. And because of how she does it and because of her quote-unquote background, a lot of people don't or do not want to take what she has to say as legit because of who she is. And what bothered me so much in the midst of the conversations that were going on today is that how women we demean. Oh, yes, caller.
Okay, that's funny.
Okay. I don't know what's funny, but
up, man. It's B.
I hope it was good. Who is this?
Caller, you there?
This is B, man.
What's up, B? What's happening, brother?
How you, bro?
I'm good,
I've been
man.
checking out the show tonight, and y'all a trip.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. So what you want to get in on tonight, man? You hear us grinding on the show. What you want to get in on? We talking about the Amber Rose thing now.
Yeah, about that. I got an interesting perspective on that, and I know, ladies, please don't, shoot up my Facebook and all of that. Keep buying my records and all of that. But I don't know if she's really like bringing attention to like women as a character thing as so much as an art form. Like, I get it. Okay, the female form is beautiful, cool. But when you start to make like that a premise for your character or lifestyle, even rather, she loses me there. Like, cause for me personally, Amber Rose is fun to look at, but I wouldn't wife her. You see what I'm saying? You get my point? Like, as an art form, yeah, she's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's art, and I can just observe her as an art thing, not like pervert thing. But right. I would never want to like be with her based on the premises of why she's doing that. Right. So,
well, let me ask you this. Let me just ask you this as a man.
Thing.
Let me ask you this as a man, because I've had dialogue with women close to me and not close to me on the subject. So let me just ask you this as a man. Is it possible to see a beautiful woman and acknowledge that she's beautiful and have absolutely no interest in her in any way? Is that possible for you as a man?
It's absolutely, bro, you know me. You know my line of work. I travel. I'm all over the place. I mean, if I had a urge or some type of a sexual attraction to every beautiful woman I saw, that's exhausting.
Say it again.
It gets.
Say it again.
It's exhausting to look at every good-looking chick and be like, ooh, have some type of sexual desire for her. That'd be exhausting. Like, it's a lot of beautiful women, especially now that you can buy the beauty. So, I mean, come on, man. You got to mature to the point, or at least I've matured to the point where I can look at a beautiful woman, admire her, say she's a beautiful woman, maybe comment on it, and keep it moving.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, it says nothing about the character. Like, for me personally, I want my woman to look, tough and all of that, bad and all that, but there's certain parts of that I want to be, reserved for me. Like,
right.
I mean, I have a problem with the bush, but I don't want nobody else to be able to see my bush. You understand what I'm saying?
I can dig it, and that's fair. I can dig it. Q Boogie wants to comment. Go ahead, B. Hold the line, B, and listen to the sister.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
But here's the thing, though. It was hers way before it was yours.
Say that again?
It was hers way before it was yours. So her having agency of her whole body and how she chooses to use it is on her. And that's not something that anybody else can speak on and say, hey, you're not doing this correctly. Or you're showing something that belongs to quote unquote me. Now, if there's something that she and, for the sake of argument, Wiz were to say, hey, I don't really like when you are out here, and they have a conversation, that's something completely different. But for somebody to just somebody to come out and say, hey, we're together now, you can no longer show these things that actually cause me to be attracted to you is wrong. And it's not allowing for those conversations to be had, because now it's no longer you and I are no longer a partnership. Now it's ownership, and that's not something that's a big thing that she speaks on. That's what it means to have autonomy and agency of your body. If she chooses to do this, it's like she said at one time before, she could be in the middle of being right about to have sex and decides at the last minute, you know what? I don't want to do this now. And she has every right to leave and go home. She doesn't owe anybody anything. She doesn't owe an explanation. She'll be like, you know what? I just don't feel right anymore. I want to go home. And nobody should be able to tell her, like, well, no, you owe this man something. And even though I don't necessarily agree with everything that Amber Rose does, I can get behind the movement, because it's like, the same way that a lot of these women are called, because I saw it today coming from men and women, hoes, sluts, and all these other things, because they don't practice the quote unquote ways of, what's the word? Respectability, and you're supposed to look like this, and you're supposed to be like, she's doing what she wants to do, and she's happy with her. So why are we so worried about it?
I'm sorry.
Wait, what is that?
No, I was just saying that, like, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but in that, with all of the rights that we're giving Amber, she has to then give, or I'm not going to use her, but anyone has to then give me the right to govern myself accordingly. Like, once I say to you, you have the right to walk down Broad Street, buck ball naked all you want, but if we're in a relationship, I also have the right to not like that, or to like that or not. And then it becomes a point of me presenting that to you and you making a decision, or me making a decision. I don't say stop doing it, but as for with me, no, that's not somebody I want to be with.
Well,
so you're more than welcome to be as naked as you want. And I've never called her a single name, not once. And the first thing I said was I admire it as an art form.
Yeah,
but in terms of, she kind of lost me when it came to I'm empowering women. Like, okay, you're empowering women to what fault? Like, are you saying that your power is more important than your significant other? Because frankly, if you have a significant other that's not with that, then you have to make a choice. Is me wanting to do this more important than that? And that's your choice to make. So you can actually say, yeah, this is more important. But you also then have to accept the other person's right to say, thanks for playing, I'm moving on.
Yeah. No, I agree. I 100% agree with you, actually. And I'll take it a step further. Once she actually did it, because I saw the picture too, and like you, I mean, you see her and,
she bad.
I mean, well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I get the Amber Rose thing, and I get why folks, find her attractive. She's not my type. I don't particularly care that much for her, but but I get it. She has parts that folks like in abundance. I'll just say it that way. And so I understand the Amber Rose thing, but my thing is with her is once you do that, once you take that picture, you release everybody who sees it and allow them domain over being able to say and comment any way they want. Mm-hmm. Because this is what you do. And whether it's fair or not, you know, you get a lot of folks that's in the limelight, celebrities or pseudo celebrities that say I'm not a role model, but there's certain things that you don't get to do no more unless you are okay with the backlash. There's certain things, there's certain ways that I got to conduct myself now.
The other person's right to respond the way they respond.
Exactly. There's certain ways that as the leader of Legacy Internet Radio and the host of the flagship show, there's certain ways that I have to conduct myself. And I have to be mindful of how I am in public circles and who may be around and watching, because not only do I represent myself and the folks who care about me, but I also represent our brand. And so if I come and I start acting crazy and and doing certain things that are aligned with the brand, then I got to deal with the folks who are going to have comments about that. So if you're going to take a picture with your breast covered and your vagina uncovered, then you got to know that you're going to have some people doing stupid things like duplicating it with a cat. You know what I mean? I saw the girl with the cat.
Yeah, the internet is undefeated.
And then I saw the girl with the wig. I mean, it's just stupid stuff, but this is what happens.
But she's known for that, though. Like, the one thing that you're not going to do is get completely under Amber Rose's skin. She knows exactly what she's doing. The only thing that, I don't like that people typically liken her to is like, oh, she's just another Kim Kardashian. She's just another this, she's just another that. Which, two different people, two different scenarios, two different standpoints. And I can get behind what Amber Rose is doing, because I love the video that she did a few years ago when she was basically doing the walk of shame. She was walking home after a night of, whatever, and people just walking past her like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, are you coming home from a night of having sex or whatever? She was like, yes, I was. They're like, congratulations,
make
girl.
Okay,
like, that's
though.
great.
Like, I look at her verbiage, like the words she uses, like, I get women being empowered. I get that. That's needed. That's necessary. Wonder Woman, all of that. I get that. But she's actually called the walk of shame, slut walk. The verbiage of it, it's like, is this really what you want to promote?
She's
like,
crossing the line.
Is it worth that much? Is it worth you being that empowered that you get to call yourself what's frankly a derogatory term? Now, I wouldn't want my sisters, my cousins, my female, I wouldn't want them walking out here calling themselves sluts.
But you also have to
proud
understand,
of shamefully walking in any way.
You have to also understand that these are words that were used towards women of all walks of life forever. If they did not adhere to how they were going to be perceived. Like, a woman can have sex with one man and she's labeled a slut because somebody can up and decide that that's what she is. So it's in the same way that us as a people, in a lot of ways, even though I know you don't necessarily agree with it.
And that's where I was going.
Right, have taken that word back. Yeah. The same way that a lot of women have taken the word bitch, slut, and hoe back.
I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what I was about to say.
It's the exact same thing.
Equation. I can't make that relationship, though, between those two words, because one is, all right, nigga, we know that. It's nothing I can do to change the color of my skin and have some white person, an ignorant person in general, call me nigga. But when you come, I'm talking about things of behavior. It's one thing to take a picture naked, but let's keep it real. Our social construct is one that's not conducive to some of the stuff she's promoting. So you're going to get called that name. Like, it's two different things. One is predicated on how a choice.
It shouldn't come as a.
One way.
It shouldn't be.
I can't choose to be black.
It shouldn't be. It's okay to be like, all right, no, none of us can change the fact that we're black. But the same way that you said somebody can do that, then in ignorance call you the N-word, somebody in ignorance can call somebody a bitch or a slut. It's the same concept.
That's true.
It's the same concept.
Let me get a comment in, both of you guys. Hold tight. Let me get a comment in. Naquita saying, Amber walks a fine line between being a feminist and fresh, as my granny used to say, and unfortunately some folks can't take her seriously.
Right. I agree with that statement.
You agree with it, I agree with it. Q Boogie, what's your thoughts on that statement?
I mean, growing up as a little girl, I'm the only woman in this room right now. The same talks that everyone had with y'all are not the talks they had with us. And even in that double standard, because Quita talked about that as well, the men in their double standards. There are a lot of double standards that men can get away with that we allegedly cannot. And I say allegedly because there were women that were doing it way before this whole talk and walk and everything that everybody's doing right now. So we did not have those conversations where you can go sow your wild oats. We were told to basically cross our legs at the ankles and the knees and do everything that we need to do for the men in our life.
That's a dangerous statement, because not all men were taught that either. Like, I wasn't told about wild oats. I was talking about a family construct and a man being a man. So I mean, it's a fine line between when you make general statements like that. I just wanted to add that in there.
You were talking about initially the construct of like society and all those sort of things. I'm referring to that. And
Okay.
we were not, a lot of us women, especially young black women, were not raised to understand. We were not, a lot of us, and that was a big part of what I was going to say initially, because so many people were upset about her, you know, showing what she was showing. And there were people that were even more upset, but like, oh my gosh, she got hair on it. That's disgusting. The very things that we as women deal with on a daily basis, all these things, that like, those are things that nobody wants to talk about. So somebody is saying, yeah, it can have hair on it. Yeah, we have different things that happen to it once a month, throughout the month. All these sort of things that people are like, ugh, I don't want to talk about that, when things are actually happen. So she not only opened the conversation of being, you know, doing the slut walk and all these other things, she also opened the conversation like, hey, all bodies don't look the same. No, it's not perfectly shaven with all these other things. And it's not perfect in the way that we're told that on porn and all these other things that it's supposed to look like. And a lot of there's girls that are growing up right now, because puberty and all these things are happening earlier and earlier now, that are getting hair on their legs, they're getting hair in different places, have no idea what it means. And their mom is like, ugh, get rid of that, because they don't know what to do with it, because they've been told it's disgusting. So that's like a big
But that's a hard point for her to make, because frankly, Amber Rose don't look like the girl across the street from me, or anywhere in my neighborhood or city or state for that matter. So for her to be making a point for, you know, women being able to, or all women don't look the same, with a almost perfectly sculpted body, as, you know, kind of towards the standards that Hollywood promotes, that black women claim to be trying to get away from. Well, it's kind of like you said, it's hard to take her serious. I'm not saying that she's not serious. I don't invalidate or discredit her point. If that's what she's trying to do, all power to her. But she's got to realize, like for instance, when Alicia Keys stopped wearing the makeup and stopped like prettying herself up, then her point became more legitimate to the women who don't look like her. Because let's face it, Amber is closer to the archetypal beauty of white Hollywood than she is to the black soul sister. So I get your point, but she has to understand that it's hard to take that point from her looking like she looked. We talking about the hair on her bush, but that's the only hair we saw. But she was smooth as a baby's butt. So I mean, I get what you're saying, but she got to do a different way of proving that point.
I'm not referring to any other type of hair. I'm not referring to the construct of her body either. I'm referring to the fact that she's like, you know what? Yeah, I look like this, and I'm also not afraid to wear this. That's the part that I'm talking about. There's a lot of women that's out here that are not looking at Amber Rose as any sort of role model. But they're also looking at the fact, you know what? I don't feel like shaving today, and it's cool, and I'm cool with that. That's the standpoint that I'm coming from. Everybody keeps talking about, oh, Amber Rose's body isn't real. Amber Rose isn't this, isn't real. Why does it matter? Is she or is she not proving a point? That's what matters. Why are you so worried, not you personally, but why are you as a society worried so much about what's in her body instead of what her stance is? Yes, Amber Rose is known for her body, but she's also out here trying to make points about her body and with her body. And we didn't say much when, you know, Yoko and what's his face?
John Lennon
were doing when they were doing it. It's like, oh my gosh, free love.
But you know,
when Madonna was doing what she was doing, she had a book of sex.
Well, I'm gonna say this before I go. My battery's dying. If Amber wants to do that, if that's her point, Amber, find Keisha from up the way who body don't look as like yours. Take her picture. Do that, like support other women, because what I'm hearing from conversation of women is, yeah, they want to do the things that Amber does, but they don't have the confidence in their body. So if you want to empower women who don't look like you. It's easy for a woman that looks like you to get buck naked. What do they have to be self-conscious about? But Shaquita next door with the pimples on her butt and you know, the rose here and the rose there, she's scared to get naked because she's afraid she's going to be judged and made a meme of and all of that. So if you want to empower the women who are not naturally empowered with the beauty that you have. Right. That's my only point.
I can dig it. And you know what's funny, just as the conversation is going, you know the parallel that I'm seeing, B and Q Boogie? The parallel that I'm seeing is just listening to you talk, Q, about how, you know, we're not paying as much attention to the message that she's trying to give. Right. We're paying so much attention to the action. Right. It's the same thing with like Colin Kaepernick. Because nobody cared. Nobody cared that his message was, you know what, black people are dying in the streets at the hands of law enforcement, and in a lot of cases it seems to be unfair. Let me not stand for this national anthem to draw attention to that. Right. Whether that's true or not, whether you agree with it or not, I think that it's worthy of discussion. That was the entire point that Colin Kaepernick was trying to make. He ended up getting blacklisted for it.
Yeah.
Whereas Amber
Yeah.
Rose ends up the topic of talk shows and funny memes and, you know, people like B said who may not be who may not have the confidence that she has that are doing these things in social media. And I'll be honest with you, quite frankly, I'm not a fan of Amber Rose. Like I said, she doesn't look like the kind of woman that I like to look at, but I'm not blind. I get why folks like her. But she's aspiring a little bit of too much ratchetness that's showing up on my wall, and I'm not happy about
Exactly.
it. I'm not happy about it. Ain't no.
I'm kind of observing and reporting the results I see, the conversations I hear. I just came back off a road trip, and it was a part of the conversation that we were on. I mean, while we were on it, we were talking about it, and I'm listening to women talk. And what they're saying is kind of what, you know, I'm listening to them and they're saying like what I'm saying, like, yo, she looks good. So why would it be hard for her? What kind of empowerment is she gaining by being naked? One girl was like, if I look like her, I'll probably be naked all the time.
But that also,
so that speaks to a greater point. Like it goes back to getting rid of some of the archetypes and stereotypes of what beauty looks like, and getting women empowered to feel beauty on the inside. I know that sounds cliche, but I know, you know, you know that girl who may not have the best body, but she's so confident. She in the club or at the bar, and she's just as friendly and throwing, you know, dancing all, you know. All women should be like that.
And what about?
Now, I don't necessarily want my woman buck naked on Instagram.
But what about? You know, what about the outstandingly beautiful woman whose confidence is suffering because she sees Amber Rose? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
She sees Amber Rose and she thinks that's
she don't think she measures up.
She don't think she measures up. She don't think that she looks as good as Amber Rose, and so she regresses further into her insecurity because she's looking at that.
I'm sorry, y'all. I don't think y'all are giving women as much of a chance as y'all think y'all are. I really don't. Like, I really do not see. I think y'all are like, oh my gosh, oh, the black women, save them. Oh no, everything. Like, yo, like, she made a choice. You have no idea what type of woman that she is also identifying and helping with that as well. I'm someone who is active on Tumblr. I see so many women of different shades, colors, shapes, sizes, everything that is up here like, yep, shit, I'm the fat Amber Rose in. This is what I'm doing. All of us aren't sitting around going, oh no, I don't look like that. Like, yo, give us a chance. Like, yo,
not all of you, but enough of you are that somebody needs to speak for them.
A lot of y'all are.
I mean, a lot of you are. Like, as a man, like, women talk different to women than they talk to men.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, to your other women, yeah, you're all confident because you don't want her to know how unconfident you or insecure you are.
Yep.
But when it comes time to, man, listen, some of these women out here are faking the funk. That's the reason why they made up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon looking like a whole dead person in Mims with all the makeup on, because they're trying to measure up. Nobody will address this. And then the people who are fighting for the causes just happen to be the people that give them these very insecurities. So you can kind of see the oxymoron or the contradiction from a man's standpoint of view. It's like, it's like the most diesel man, Terry Crews, telling me, oh, you don't have to be in shape. It's okay to let to just be normal. I'm like, dude, you got a 12-pack. You got muscles everywhere, and you telling me it's okay not to? Somehow it's not that believable from you. It's not as validated as it might be from somebody who looked like what they were promoting.
And the reality is, we are men. And so we're going to have a different perspective on this. So, you can say we're mansplaining, and B just said from a man's perspective. And B, I'm going to let you go now. I appreciate you, brother. I know you said your battery's about to die.
Yeah, man, I'm on too, son.
Yeah,
but
man.
I got you on the tune in on the TV, so I'm going to check y'all out, man. I appreciate this time. Hey, yo, good talking with you, sis.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's always good to hear your voice, brother. And you're welcome to come back to the den whenever you're ready. Appreciate you.
Salute.
You got it, brother. Salute. And you know how step with Marcus J. Like, yeah, obviously we are, as men, we're going to look at this from a male perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we're not necessarily going to agree or see it the same. Maybe we do and maybe we don't. But I think that B made a very, very, very good point. Some of you and some of us too, and it's not even a gender thing. It's just a person thing. Most dudes ain't gonna talk to their lady or their lady friends the same way they're gonna talk to their homeboys. Mm-hmm. And most ladies ain't gonna talk to their homegirls the way they're gonna talk to their dude friends. Like, it's just different. It's a different exchange. It's a different level of comfort. It's a different way of communicating with each other. And so, I'm not gonna talk to to you, Q Boogie, the same way I might talk to Solo. You know, as a man, there's a certain man language that we may have as men. You know what I mean? And there's certain ways that I will respectfully, I may want to make the same points, but I'm, you know, if I'm a respectful man, I'm not going to make them the same way to you that I would make them to him. And I don't know. I'm not a woman, never been one, no desire to be one. But my guess is y'all got y'all same girl language, and y'all speak to ladies the way you speak to ladies indifferently than the way you would speak to men.
Like, honestly, the whole thing that is really the culmination of everything that's going on as far as Amber Rose and just the movement of body acceptance and body positivity. I am a photographer who is a proponent of body positivity and acceptance. I have my own photo campaign that talks all about body and shows body positivity and acceptance. I think from what I have, not even I think, I know from what I have seen on social media and other places and in blogs and things that I've read, things I've seen, all these sort of things. A lot of women are beginning to open up about their sexuality, about their bodies, about these things. And the thing that I love that's going on right now, especially on Facebook, is how do you walk outside the house with a belly shirt knowing you're fat? How do you wear a crop top knowing you fat? How you sleep at night knowing that you did this and the videos showing them with their crop top, with the belly, with the crop, with the bathing suit and
Body
everything.
shaming.
I love it. I love it so much that these women are like, bitch, and going about their business. Like, understand that there are women that are legit out here living their best life, however they choose to do it. There have been so many people in our communities especially that have tried so hard to tell women what they can't do. You can't wear this. You can't say that. You can't sleep with this person. You can't do this. He ain't gonna want you if you don't do this. All these sorts of things, like basically, especially being a mother, all the things you did to have a child is now null and void because now you have a child. And it's like, how does that help anybody in any sense? And there's people that I have my sister-in-law, her ex-boyfriend told her once she had a child, was like, well, I can't do none of the stuff I did with you before because now you somebody's mother. What? Wait.
I mean, that's a double-edged sword. And there's different ways you look at that because, you know, there are some folks who change how they think about it. It's not always the guy. Sometimes it's the gals. I mean, that piece goes both ways.
It does go both ways, but in respect of the conversation and who it was given to.
Right.
And majority of the time, it is on the woman that is like, well, you just got to wrap all that up that you had. You know, I had the baby. Oh, look at the baby. We're going to get the baby Christmas. And now we're just going to put that back in the box. We ain't going to talk. But where everything, put your choir robe on. I know it's 90 degrees. Put your choir robe on because we don't want nobody to see the things that you did to have this baby. We don't want nobody to know about any of that. A lot of women are beginning, you know what? I ain't doing that no more. I'm going to take ownership of my body. I'm going to take ownership of my agency and my autonomy. And this is what I'm going to do. That doesn't necessarily mean that does not automatically mean, ooh, I'm taking care of my body. All of a sudden, I'm a slut. That's not what that means. No. Those two do not equal the same. No. And a lot of people try to say that, oh, that must be what it is because you out here now, you got your chest out. That must mean, like, no, it's hot. And I felt like airing my boobs out.
I can dig it. Ain't no ass stepping with Marcus J. live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. As we progress throughout the night, I do need to make sure that I bring in another person who has joined us. She joins us on the second Monday of every single month. You see her sitting over there, Facebook Live. She's my assistant and yours, Miss Tony. What's up, Tony? Try it again. All right, well, there's something going on with that mic then. Hold on. Try it now.
Is this better?
Nope. No. Something's going on funky with that mic. I don't know.
Should I slide my mic over?
Nah, I'm going to give her another mic because that's how I do it. I got more than one mic. So let me try that. Yeah, try that.
Test, 1, 2, test.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not sure why that one didn't work, but hey.
I think it's all those colors on there.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
What it do, homie?
Not too much.
You good?
I am.
Amber Rose showed her coochie.
What?
Why?
Amber Rose showed her coochie.
Why?
I don't know. You a girl. You tell me.
I'm a girl. What does that have to do with it? You know how many men expose their peni?
You know men with multiple penises?
I mean,
because that's a multiple.
Just out here slinging peen.
No, I mean, like, men do it all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never did that.
Have you ever? Well, you would
I
never
was
get
about to
that.
say, you ain't never get no pictures.
No unsolicited. Yeah, y'all love to do that with the 3 angles. The only 3 angles y'all know.
I've never done that.
Look, and you in a meeting at work, like, I don't know.
You just sitting here and it's like I ain't even asked for this. I ain't asked for this.
I'm
I ain't asked for this.
so disturbed right now.
have to turn off the
'Cause
preview.
you guys just-
Right, you're like
You guys just
you in church. You just put this down.
The devil is alive.
Wait, no.
so y'all really,
But y'all do that and it's like I mean I was showing you that I love you. What? What?
Look,
Those-
I was thinking about you.
I would think about you and this is what happened.
them guys.
But Amber Rose show a hoo-ha and it's like, oh my gosh, shield the children. But you out here just slanging, you got just random joints in the folder on your phone, just like pew 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 pew, just
Alright,
putting them joints out.
Let me address that nonsense that y'all talking right now. Because the reality is, I've never seen that in social media. I've never seen one of those things just pop up on my wall.
Because you're not like we get them.
But what I'm saying, but what I'm saying to you is like the Amber Rose thing just popped up on my wall. Like I never seen, some celebrity dude popping, joint pics up on my wall.
I mean, you got senators that sent them joints that he thought he sent them on Twitter.
Well, his name is Wiener, so
Wiener,
what do you want?
right?
What are we supposed to say? You know what I mean? His name is Wiener.
Like you set yourself up for that crime.
Well, you had to know that, Wiener was going to show his wiener eventually. But
Exactly.
in all seriousness, Tony, what you think about the Amber Rose? Or she's basically trying to empower women, in my opinion, to be proud of their bodies, to be proud to show off their bodies, and to take dominion, as Q Boogie said earlier in the segment, over their own essence. To that, you say what?
I mean, there's other ways to do it. I don't want to see another woman's cooch. I think she could have gone with plan B or C on that one. Something my mother taught me from a very young age was you always want to leave something to the imagination. You don't want to show all your goods.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not classy. That doesn't make me feel like proud. Like I got one too. You want to see mine? I mean, I don't know like what the end game was there.
No.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know if she
I didn't
want
wanna
to
see
spark
hers.
a movement where like that's our profile picture, like post this as your picture if you agree. I don't know what she was trying to accomplish because that to me is not the way to do it.
Now, we got two different opinions from two different women in here, and I appreciate that. And I want to see if we can get some sort of dialogue around that because, Q Boogie is like, this was, and I'm paraphrasing, please tell me if I mischaracterize what your position is, but this is dope. She's a woman that's showing her body, and I think that is liberating. Is that essentially a fair paraphrase?
Yeah.
Okay, and Tony is like, oh, hell no, I don't want to see that. That's crazy. Is that a fair paraphrase?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, so B and I as guys, who had our positions, like my position is, I don't really care that you did that. I get what your motive was. I guess for me, my position, before I have you guys kind of jump in there, my position is, what is it that you just inspired? Because now you're going to have, a bunch of people. It's not like you're going to have, the people with the non-traditional bodies feeling more comfortable. Mm-hmm. That's not what you got. What you ended up getting was the weirdos that put cats down there and they pose for pictures. And the weirdos that got wigs down there to pose for pictures. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
because
it
now,
the territory.
and see, now here's my other thing that it just kind of drove me nuts, just about the comments that I'm seeing that people having. And I'm gonna just say this, and I'm gonna step out of it. But every single woman has a personal choice for how she decides that she's gonna groom herself. And so for all of these comments that says, oh, she's got too much hair, or oh, she's got not enough hair, and all this kind of stuff, or guys who want to see it completely bare. Let's just be clear on that. Like, some guys like it all the way gone. Some guys like, a 5 o'clock shadow, like like Crockett from Miami Vice. You know what I mean? But it's really like, it's one of those things where, okay, I'll listen to your opinion, but I don't really care about your opinion. Like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do type of deal. Like, that's her body. She does what she wants. If she decides to do that because that's what she wants to do for you, then great. But the fact that I'm even going this far in it is really kind of weirding me out. And Amber Rose, you did this to me.
First off, how dare you?
How dare you? You know what I mean? And so, Tony, you think she's a crazy person for doing it?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say she's a crazy person, but so one thing is, if she didn't have the body that she has now, say she was a little heavy, a little overweight, had a stomach that kind of fell to the side, and boobies were sagging, which happens when you get a little older, would she still do that?
That's essentially the question that our brother B asked when he called in.
Like, is she going to do that in 20 years?
I think so. Because, I mean, honestly, and that's the thing that has me feeling a type of way, that we're just thinking that it's so impossible. Like, there are so many women, not just because of Amber Rose, but just period, that have decided, I'm just going to take ownership of my body now. I'm just going to let it all hang out. I don't care. You know how many women that I've seen walk around with like crop tops that 2 years ago they've been like, oh girl, why are you doing that? Now it's like, look, you're going to take whatever body I decide to put out here today. And people are taking ownership of themselves. And that does not mean that, that she don't care about herself. She don't care about her body. She don't care about her health. She don't care about, it's like, I would rather have that than somebody that's starving themselves, than somebody that's trying to use like 8 different types of body wraps to get the hourglass figure. Yes, Amber Rose looks how she looks, but then you also have Gabby Sidibe that lost, 20, 30 pounds? People still got stuff to say about her. And she's out here wearing crop tops and everything too. And she's the more, even though she was open and vocal back then, the more like, she started to love herself and started to write her books and do all these things. She eventually got to the point she was like, I don't care what y'all got to say. This is what y'all gonna get. Guess who got an Oscar?
Right. and that I'm fine with. Like, you should love yourself. Love yourself how you are. I mean, that's not who you are, but yeah, if this is my body, this is my body.
But people are still having problems with that. That's the thing.
Well, and they can, just walk on by. But my issue is like, you don't need to show like the most intimate part of your body to make that statement, to show people that you're comfortable in the skin that you're in. I just think that that's too much. But like with all other things, if you don't like it, don't look at it.
Yeah. We're getting a couple of hits. Naquita says men and their double standards. I can dig it. Because I think, and I'll be completely frank and transparent with this, like men and women are different. And I think that a lot of times people think that men and women should think the same. We should come to the same conclusions. And guess what? We don't. We think different. We're wired different, and sometimes we're just going to have double standards. Some of those things are innate. Some of those things are physiological, right? And some of those things are socially constructed. So yeah, we got double standards, and it is what it is. Sometimes they come off as inappropriate and upsetting. But I think with dialogue, and I think with fair and honest dialogue, then between individuals who actually care about each other, we can overcome them. We can overcome the fact that I am Marcus J. at my core chauvinist. I am. And I can say that honestly.
Oh, God.
I can say that honestly because I'm under no illusions. Just like Amber Rose is honest about showing her body.
Yeah.
And she's probably open to have the discussion for those folks who have an issue with the fact that she did that, because I can't imagine that she wouldn't. I'm open with having the discussion about my chauvinism and being given examples of how it may become offensive to someone who may see me do something or hear me do something where I might say, you know what, you were right, I apologize for that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the kind of person that can't be checked. You can check me. I'm not that kind of chauvinist. Like, I'm one who feels how I feel. I'm not going to apologize for how I feel, but if you show me a better way, or if you tell me, hey, this is why I disagree with what you said or what you did, I will have the conversation and sometimes change my position. So I think that's the way that we need to be. So it's okay to have double standards in that sense, because the reality is, and that was me being nice about it, but the real talk, y'all got some shit with y'all too. You know what I'm saying? We all do.
Yeah.
Getting a couple of other hits, and then Tony, you're gonna jump in here. Katrina saying peace, hey to us, and whatnot. It's shocking that Katrina's checking.
I was about to say that.
It must be somebody.
Hey, sis.
Must be somebody in particular she wants to check in on that's in the room. Hint, hint. Laurel is checking in and saying some folks just love the shock value. Maybe that's the end game. Hey, maybe
And she has said that.
She very well may be.
She has said that.
She very well may be on point with that. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Look at the time. We're getting close to the end. We got one more segment that we need to get to. So we're going to take another break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the President of the United States of America. We cannot have this show tonight with all the stuff that's happened recently without having a little bit of a conversation about Donald Trump. His son said that we're not human. What does that mean? We're going to find out on the other side. For Q Boogie, Miss Tony, and our brother Solo sitting in the back, and our guests and listeners, y'all rocking with us. We rolling with y'all. You know how Step with Marcus J, live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. We will be back in a few with you.
Is my mic on? Okay. Legacy Internet Radio. It's your girl, the First Lady, comedianess, Lissa P. Ow, ow! Make sure you're tuned in to the #1 internet radio station around, Legacy Internet Radio. Be sure to check out our website at www.legacyinternetradio.com, or you can download the free TuneIn app. Go to the search, type in Legacy Internet Radio, and there you'll have us. Legacy Internet Radio, where independence is the key to building your legacy. Ow, ow! We gon'